everybody, John David had a 9 out of 10 day. The only thing that really held him up from being a 10 out of 10 is he spit up a few times. None of them being really big, like what he's been having, up to this point, but just a couple. And most of them had kind of reasons for it, like getting a lot of medications right before he spit up, or me holding him, and I'm pretty sure that was just kind of hard on his belly because of the surgery and having to use muscles to be held. But those are really the two bigger ones. There was one more that was really small, but that's the only thing I can remember having a 10 out of 10 day. And we held his increase. So he's still getting fed, but he just, instead of going from 20 to 24, he held at 20. So he'll hold there until tomorrow, and they'll pick him back up at 24 in the next 24-hour or next 12-hour window. He's going up 4 milliliters every 12 hours. And if he holds on that trajectory, about Wednesday evening, he should be back to full feeds. And that brings us to the wonderful news today, which is that his echo was stable compared to the last one. And so that was kind of the big thing, as well as getting to full feeds, of being able to go home. And so we are now kind of talking about discharge and getting through that process. And it takes several days for them to kind of line things up. But we're looking at probably beginning of next week. So about a week left. And we will go, assuming that John David does not hear the four-letter H word in the room, which is home, because when he does, he likes to act up. So we're not going to talk about home in front of him. We'll just call it the magical place. Because we started talking about it today, and that's when he actually spit up one time. We were like, you know what, we can't talk about home in front of him because he thinks this is his home. He thinks 2301 Irwin Road is where he lives, which in his defense is where he's lived his whole life. But we had a pretty good day overall. He got himself on the floor, did some floor time, had himself a friend come by and play on the floor with him, Lily. And her dad, Aaron, came and brought her and visited us, and we really, really appreciate that. It has meant cannot tell you how much it has meant to us to have them as friends and be able to spend time with them and just have them come and visit us while we've been in the hospital. And even more so, we've talked about it, between ourselves, being able to see the kids play together is kind of surreal. Knowing where each of them has been and seeing where they are now. You can look at them and barely tell that they've had things if they're wearing clothes. Like you can't tell really, which is just insane knowing what we know that they've gone through. But they played together, had some fun. We had some fun. They were kind of staring at each other, trying to figure each other out. So it was really, really a good day. And then Hunter went to daycare, had fun with Miss Anna, and then went out looking for deer with Mimi this evening. And really and truly, everybody pretty much had a good day. The big news of today was that the echo came back good and that we are progressing towards the feeds, albeit not quite as fast as what we would like, but we're getting there. And then the really big news is talking about, from multiple people having the conversation of, looking at discharging here within the next 7 days. And so that is the really big news. So hopefully that's where we're headed. We won't use the four-letter H word around John David during the next week, and then we will just take him out, and he'll just think he's going on another stroller ride, and we'll just take him right on home. So that would be the plan, is to not tell him until we get there. Also, one last crazy caveat to all of this. When we arrived in February at Duke, it was still snow on the ground from a big snow we had in the middle of February. And tonight, back home in Lake Waccamaw, it is not snowing. So we have made it from snow to snow. And also, it does not snow very often in Lake Waccamaw. So we were joking around tonight when we were getting some of these videos that basically John David's getting ready to go home, and it was like crazy things have to happen. So then it is now snowing in November in Lake Waccamaw, which doesn't happen. So that is pretty just insane, but also completely in line with everything that we've had go on in the last year. Just a fun little tidbit and caveat to all this. But if y'all would pray for these two things: one, that John David will continue progressing towards that goal of going to the magical place of home. Two, if you would pray for all of those who've lost loved ones, especially those who've lost children. And then three, if you would pray for all of the kids and families who are battling congenital heart defects. Again, I know we've talked about this before, but having spent as much time as we have at Duke, there are a lot of families who we've seen come in for one procedure and then leave for weeks or months and then come back for another. And again, this is a long, winding road. This is not a one and done for most families. And so, again, keep them in your prayers because it is a nerve-wracking process, and it is a anxious process, and it is essentially a never-ending process. You always question what is going to be, and you always have to be aware of like monitoring and so again, just keep those kids and those families in your prayers. But y'all have a good night. God bless, and y'all continue to step daily. What are you trying to do? Are you trying to get on your belly like you're not supposed to? You're so huge. See? 1, 2, 3, 4.
But the other ones are big, so we can shoot them.
What, 4 right now?
4 or 5? Maybe that 4 or 5. 4 or 5.
It's not flurries anymore. This is real slow.
Oh, that's good. That one sounds good. That's really good.
What you think, Hunter?
That's good.
There's a million of them.
But what is that?
You got snow in your hair.
But what is that? Cereal what? Maybe.
What?
I'm eating a snack. I'm so proud. Eat that. I eat all of it.
You catching them in your mouth? Woo! You better get back in here. Woo!
Whoa.
Woo!
And John David, tell everybody bye-bye.